Smoke doesn't warn you. It takes the room first, then it takes your lungs, then it takes your mind. I've watched trained men collapse in under a minute because they thought fire was the main threat. It isn't. The smoke kills you long before the flames ever touch you. When you step into a smoke-filled room, you're stepping into a place where the rules change. The air you trust becomes a trap. Your instincts, stand up, breathe fast, move fast, will get you unconscious before you reach the door. I learned that the hard way in a collapsed barracks where one wrong breath almost shut my lungs down. So listen carefully, because survival in smoke isn't about strength, it's about control. The first thing you need to understand is that smoke moves like a living thing. It crawls upward, fills the ceiling, then pushes down until it owns every inch of space. It's hot enough to burn your throat, thick enough to blind you, and toxic enough to knock you out without warning. Most people panic because they can't see. They stand up, they gasp, they inhale a full lung of poison, and their legs fold. You will not make that mistake. In the first seconds inside that room, your only job is to stay conscious. Consciousness is survival. Everything else comes after. You'll feel the heat on your face. You'll hear the room groan. You'll smell chemicals, plastic, maybe wood. That smell is danger. Every breath costs you seconds of life. But you don't freeze. You don't rush. You cut your breathing in half. You drop your body low. You let your mind go sharp, not wide. The smoke wants you confused. You stay deliberate. This is the mindset you take with you. You're not here to fight the fire. You're here to outthink the smoke long enough to get out alive. Smoke is not just dirty air. It is a chemical weapon released by a burning room. You need to understand its nature before you can move through it. When a structure catches fire, everything inside begins to break down. Plastic, paint, foam, wiring, fabrics. They don't just burn, they release gases that turn the air into a toxic mix your lungs were never built for. The two killers you face first are carbon monoxide and hydrogen cyanide. One steals the oxygen from your blood, the other shuts down your cell's ability to use whatever oxygen is left. A single deep breath of that blend can make you dizzy. The second one can make you black out. That's why people collapse with no burns on their bodies. They die standing up. Smoke also climbs fast. Heat rises, carrying toxic fumes toward the ceiling. That upper zone can reach temperatures high enough to scorch your airway in half a second. But even before the heat gets you, the gas concentration is enough to drop you. Stay above that layer and you won't stay conscious long. Stay inside it and you won't stay alive. What makes smoke more dangerous is its ability to blind you instantly. Visibility drops to zero. Your brain hates that. It panics, starts breathing harder, and those fast breaths pull poison deeper into your lungs. That's why I tell you, panic is the smoke's first ally. Another threat is disorientation. Thick smoke erases corners, turns hallways into black tunnels, hides doors, hides exits, hides the difference between open space and a burning drop-off. People get turned around in their own bedrooms. I've seen soldiers crawl in circles because they lost the wall for 2 seconds. Understand this, smoke steals your senses one by one. First sight, then smell, then the air itself. When your airway burns, your body forces you to cough, and every cough pulls more toxins in. If your brain starts to fog, that's the warning that oxygen is leaving the system. When your legs start to go numb, you're seconds from collapse. Knowledge isn't optional in a room like this. If you don't know what smoke is doing to you, it will decide your fate before you ever reach the exit. The first 5 to 7 seconds inside a smoke-filled room decide whether you walk out or get carried out. People waste those seconds on panic, shouting, or running blind. You won't. The moment you cross that threshold, freeze your body, not your mind. You anchor yourself. You take one controlled breath through fabric, sleeve, or anything that can slow the poison. Then you assess. It's fast but deliberate. First, feel the direction of the smoke movement. Hot smoke pushes downward and outward. If you sense heat dropping on your face, that tells you the ceiling layer is already descending. That means you stay low, almost flat. Never stand to take a look. You won't see anything, and you'll inhale death. Second, judge the heat source. You don't need eyes for this. Extend the back of your hand upward and outward, never your palm. Your palm has thicker skin but worse sensitivity. The back of your hand will warn you fast. If the air is scorching, the fire is near, or the upper layer is moments from flashover. If it feels warm but not searing, you may have a small window to move. If you feel radiant heat from one direction, strong on your cheek, weak on the other, you found the fireside. You do not go there. Third, locate your points of reference. In smoke, your memory is a weapon. Try to recall where the door was, how many steps the room usually takes, where furniture sits. If this is an unfamiliar room, you switch to tactile navigation. Reach out and find a wall, a heavy object, anything fixed to reality. Once you find it, stay connected. A single wall can guide you to a doorway even when you cannot see your own hands. Fourth, slow your breathing. Panic will make you suck in poison faster than the fire can burn you. Count it. Inhale 1 second, exhale 2. Long exhale keeps your lungs from overloading. Fifth, listen. Sound travels strangely in smoke. Fire roars, structure pops, air vents whistle. Those noises tell you whether the fire is moving, whether a ceiling is weakening, whether a doorway is drawing fresh air, which often means an exit. In these short seconds, your goal is simple. Understand the battlefield before you move through it. You don't rush, you don't guess, you calculate. Every movement after this depends on the calm you build right here, in the middle of the poison. Your body position determines how long you stay conscious. Smoke kills from the top down, and the cleanest air in a burning room is always near the floor. That's why standing is suicide. The moment you rise, you put your head directly into the toxic ceiling layer, and your lungs won't survive 2 deep breaths of that mix. So you drop low, lower than you think you need to. Your chest should be close to the floor. Your weight distributed so you can move without lifting your head. The posture you're aiming for is a low crawl, not a hands and knees crawl. Hands and knees are too high. You want your forearms on the floor, your head tucked, your nose angled toward whatever clean air remains. This is the position firefighters use because nothing else keeps you alive long enough to find a door. Breathing is the next battle. You do not take deep breaths. Deep breaths drag smoke straight into the alveoli, and once those are damaged, you lose oxygen processing fast. Breathe through a barrier, a sleeve, a wet cloth if you have it, a piece of your shirt. The barrier doesn't filter toxins. Nothing you're carrying will, but it cools the air, slows the particles, and buys seconds. In a smoke-filled room, seconds are currency. Spend them wisely. Keep your breathing shallow and steady. Short inhales, slightly longer exhales. Your body will want to gasp, you force it not to. Every gasp is panic winning, and panic feeds the smoke more than fire ever will. Anchor your mind to the rhythm, not the fear. As you move, keep one arm extended and sweeping low, palm down, searching for obstacles, debris, or drops. The other arm stays closer to your body, ready to brace or pull. You never lift your head to check the room. There is nothing to check. Visibility is zero. The only thing above you is poison. You also need to protect your airway from heat. Even if the smoke looks thin, the temperature above your head can be high enough to burn your throat with a single breath. Stay low enough that you can feel the cooler air brushing your cheek. If you feel heat rising sharply, flatten even more. Think of it as hugging the floor, because that floor is the only safe zone left. Move slow, controlled, no wasted motion. High-speed movement makes you breathe harder, and breathing harder makes you lose the fight. Your goal here isn't speed. It's staying conscious long enough to reach the exit. Every inch you move must keep your lungs working and your mind clear.
That is how you navigate a room made of smoke. You win by staying small, staying low, and staying in control.
When the room goes dark from wall to wall, your eyes become useless. You don't rely on sight anymore. You rely on contact, structure, and discipline. In a smoke-filled room, you navigate by touch, not vision. The biggest mistake people make is trying to look around, lifting their head, hoping the smoke will clear. It won't. The only thing waiting above you is hotter air and higher toxin density. Keep your head down and let your hands become your eyes. Start by finding a fixed surface. A wall is your best guide. Walls don't move, walls lead to doors, and doors lead to exits. Once your hand touches a vertical surface, you stay connected to it. Don't drift, don't lose contact. Even a 1-second gap can send you crawling into open space where orientation dissolves. I've seen trained men crawl in circles because they broke contact for a single movement. You will not make that mistake. Keep your shoulder angled slightly toward the wall so your body follows its line. Your outside hand should sweep forward, low and controlled, checking for debris, steps, or sharp edges. The sweep must be slow enough that you can react before your weight commits. Fast movements cause injuries, and injuries slow your breathing. Slower breathing is good, but pain-induced gasps are fatal. As you move, expect the wall to change temperature. If it grows hotter as you advance, you're approaching the fire side. That's your warning. You may still need to follow it, but you'll do so with awareness. If the heat becomes extreme, painful within a second, you switch to the opposite wall. But you do not cross the room blindly. You crawl in a straight line, tracking your movement with deliberate pushes, keeping your center of gravity low. Navigating blind also means every doorway is a potential trap. Smoke hides fire, and a door can open into a room that's moments from flashover. Before crossing any threshold, you test it. Use the back of your hand to check the door's surface and handle. If it's hot, you do not open it. Heat on the handle means fire on the other side, and opening that door will pull a blast of flame straight into your path. If the door feels cool but you're unsure, open it slowly, just an inch, keeping your face turned away and your body low. Let the air tell you what's waiting. If smoke is being pulled into the doorway, that indicates a draft leading to an exit route. If smoke pushes out, the fire is feeding. Shut it. Move on. When you enter a new space, reset your senses. Don't assume the layout is safe or familiar. Even a room you know becomes foreign when filled with smoke. Keep one hand on the frame as you move through, then immediately search for the next wall. Your movements must stay quiet enough that you can hear structural changes. Listen for crackling beams, rushing drafts, or the sucking sound of a fire pulling oxygen. Those sounds guide you better than any eyesight right now. And remember this, silence is also a message. If everything goes quiet, the fire may be building toward a flashover. That means speed, but controlled speed. Keep contact, keep the crawl, keep your breath slow. You're navigating through blindness, but you're not lost. You're following structure, using discipline, and denying the smoke the one weapon it wants most, your confusion. In a room filled with smoke, survival depends on finding the last pockets of air the fire hasn't stolen yet. These pockets don't look like anything. You can't see them, but you can feel them if you know where to search. Fire consumes oxygen fast, and smoke replaces it from the top down. That means the cleanest air is always at the lowest point. Stay low, and the air you breathe buys you time. Rise even a little, and you'll feel it immediately. Your throat burns, your breath shortens, your head gets light. That dizziness is a warning. You're leaving the survivable layer. Drop again before your body starts to fog. The floor isn't uniform, though. Some areas hold slightly better air because of how the room is shaped. Corners can trap usable air for a few seconds longer, especially if they're shielded from the fire's draft. If you feel a corner, pause. Don't stop breathing. Don't linger. Just take one controlled inhale and test if the air is cooler or less harsh. But corners can also hide heat. Use the back of your hand on the wall to check before committing. If it's hot enough to sting, move on. Sheltered zones behind heavy objects, tables, beds, solid furniture, often form micro-pockets where air circulates slower. If you can slide briefly behind something without lifting your body, do it. You're not hiding, you're harvesting oxygen. Just 1 or 2 breaths, controlled, never greedy. If you try to rest there, the smoke will eventually sink and overtake you. Rooms with uneven flooring, steps, or sunken areas sometimes hold slightly cooler air. As you crawl, feel the gradient of temperature on your cheek. Cool air sinks. If you sense a drop in temperature, angle your head toward it. That's an air pocket. Use it. 1 breath, then move. When navigating past a closed door, check the gap at the bottom. If smoke is streaming outward, the room behind is hotter. Avoid it. If air is being drawn inward, that door may lead to a cooler, safer zone. But never assume. Test the handle. Test the surface. If it's safe and you open it, stay as low as possible and feel the airflow immediately. A gentle pull of cooler air across your face means you've found a temporary sanctuary. Take 2 slow breaths and push forward. Heat management is as critical as breathing. Even air that won't choke you can burn you. If the temperature around your head spikes, flatten even more. Press your cheek close to the floor for a second. If the floor is still cool, you're in a survivable layer. If the floor itself feels hot, or if heat radiates so strongly that your face tingles, you're approaching a dangerous zone where flashover is possible. Do not stop there. Move along the wall, staying low and calm. If you hit a pocket where the heat fades slightly, stay within that temperature gradient as long as you can. It means the fire hasn't dominated that space yet. Remember this, air pockets don't save you by themselves. They buy you seconds, and seconds are the only currency you have left when the room is collapsing into smoke and heat. You grab breath where you can, you stay small, and you keep moving toward the exit. Survive by managing the air, not fighting the fire.
There will be moments when every exit you try is blocked. The hallway is a furnace. The nearest door breathes fire. The window is sealed or too high. This is the point where most people panic, inhale poison, and go down. But you're not most people. When escape is cut off, the mission changes from get out now to stay alive long enough to create an exit. That shift in mindset is what keeps you conscious. First, seal yourself from the smoke. Find a room, any room, that you can close off. Crawl inside, shut the door, and get as low as possible. A door is not protection from fire, but it is a barrier that slows smoke. You need that slowdown. Once the door is shut, use anything you can, clothes, towels, blankets, to plug the gaps at the bottom. Press fabric into the cracks with your forearms, not your hands, so you don't lift your head. If you hear air rushing under the door, the fire is feeding from the other side. Seal it tighter. If the door is already hot, it means the fire is too close to hold its ground for long. You won't stay here forever. But even a minute of slowed smoke gives your brain precious oxygen. Next, find the cleanest air in the room. It will be low, in corners farthest from the door, under furniture, or near the floor beside a heavy object. Don't curl into a ball. Keep your airway free and your chest low. Take small, controlled breaths to keep your head clear. If the room has a window, approach it, but don't break it immediately. A broken window can create a draft that pulls flame toward you. Touch the glass with the back of your hand. If it's hot, fire is near that side and breaking it would turn the room into a chimney. If it's cool and you have no other escape, open it if you can. If it won't open, break the top portion first so the smoke vents upward while you stay low. Shout only in bursts, 3 short calls, then stop. Continuous yelling drains oxygen fast and fills your lungs with more toxins. Use hard objects to create noise instead. Metal striking wood or walls carries farther than a voice in smoke. If you're on an upper floor and can't descend, stay low by the window, signal movement, and breathe through fabric while keeping your head below the smoke line. If smoke keeps pouring in despite sealing the room, create a secondary barrier. Move to the farthest corner, use furniture as a shield, and stay behind it to redirect smoke flow. It's not perfect, but every obstruction disrupts the smoke's path and buys time. If heat begins building rapidly, the structure is warning you. You'll hear popping, cracking, or a shift in the airflow. That means flashover may be approaching. You do not wait for it. You move toward the safest vector immediately, even if it means re-entering a smoke-filled room. Make the decision fast. Hesitation kills. When escape is blocked, your survival depends on slowing the smoke, conserving your oxygen, and protecting your airway until a new path opens or until someone reaches you. You are not hiding, you are fortifying. You're creating a pocket of time, a pocket of air, and a pocket of life you can use to break through when the moment comes. Stay calm, stay low, stay deliberate. You're not done yet.
When you finally break out of the room, into a hallway, a stairwell, or open air, your fight isn't over. Most people collapse right after escaping because they let their body react instead of staying in command. The smoke has already weakened you. Your oxygen levels are low. Your throat is inflamed. Your legs may shake. The danger now is losing consciousness before you reach full safety. So you keep control. The first rule, do not stand up fast. Rising too quickly pulls blood away from your brain and triggers a blackout. Stay low, breathe shallow, and move forward with the same discipline you used inside the room. Even outside the immediate danger, smoke lingers, and a single deep breath of that lingering cloud can knock you flat. Keep your airway protected with fabric until you're certain the air is clean. The second rule, do not sprint. Your instinct will scream for speed. Ignore it. Sprinting spikes your oxygen demand at a moment when your blood doesn't have oxygen to give. That mismatch triggers collapse. Move steady, controlled, staying close to walls or rails. Your legs may feel heavy or numb. That's carbon monoxide still working through your system. Don't trust your balance. Use every support you can. The third rule is awareness. Hallways outside burning rooms can be deceptive. Heat builds in pockets. Smoke pools in stairwells. Fresh air may be ahead, or a backdraft may be seconds from igniting behind a closed door. Before passing any doorway, test the air with your cheek. If the temperature rises sharply, avoid that route. If the air feels neutral or cooler, continue. Once you reach the outside, don't collapse yet. Many people drop right at the exit because they think the danger ends the moment they see open sky. But smoke inhalation has a delayed effect. Your lungs might be damaged, your airway swollen, your oxygen saturation critically low. If you let your body crash, it will. So force slow breaths. Keep your head slightly forward to maintain airflow. If you feel dizzy, lie on your side, not your back. Lying flat can worsen airway obstruction. If you're helping someone else escape, follow the same rules. Keep them low, keep them breathing slowly, and never let them stand unsupported. Someone who looks stable can go unconscious in seconds. The final threat is shock. Your body has been fighting for air, heat, and survival. Once the immediate danger passes, shock can hit hard. Keep your mind engaged. Focus on one task, staying awake. Look at fixed points. Count breaths. Keep your hands touching the ground or a wall to anchor your awareness. You survived the room. Now you survive the aftermath by refusing to let your physiology take over. Stay conscious, stay controlled, stay alive.